You're happy. Monday through Friday, 8:45 Eastern, 7:45 Central. I am your host, Vernon Brown. All right, so if you like content like this, do me a favor. Go to the website, sign up newsletter. You're gonna love stuff like this. Lots of good things always coming out. We are talking. Well, let me go back. Yesterday, I posted a question. I said, "Are you?" What did I say? I'm trying to remember exactly what I said. It was on Facebook. But basically, is are you just kind of going through the motions in life? Going through the motion in life, or are you going for a specific goal? How are you living life intentionally? And I didn't expect that post to get lots of traction. It was more so about making you think. I always will make you think. Always, always, always. And that question wasn't to shame. That question was to get you thinking. And I'm sure there could have been. There's always somebody who's like, "Well, I feel offended. I feel hurt." But the question is to get you to wake up. I see lots of people kind of in this psychosis of life where they just go to point A, then they go to point B, then they go to point G, they go to point, they just go in places and they're just doing things with no intention, no effort. I'm not knocking that. I'm not saying you don't have reasons, but for the people, those of all who are like my people, like myself, we're trying to find more purpose and intention behind things. And this weekend, the message that I want people to consider is what is that thing that will bring more intention and more purpose to your life? I'm not saying in the grand scheme of your life, like, oh my gosh, I found my purpose. This is the reason why I have to do this. But what is that thing that you can start working towards, find out about, start looking at that can bring you to that place where you can live life more intentionally? I had a really, great session with one of my clients yesterday, and we were talking about, this great offer he's putting together. Super sharp guy, love him to death. If he's watching this, you know who I am, especially give a few more details. And we sometimes when we're not living intentionally, we could have an idea of where we want to go, but filling in that gap. Like, what's the gap that's going to make you like, oh my God, I get it, and then you just go running towards it. And the gap for him was, what do I need to say? Who do I need to contact? What are some ways that I can just go about to getting my offer out there? And once we figured out exactly what to say and the people need to contact, boom, off to the races. And it just goes. That's the power of intention, purpose, and knowing the next steps. For yourself, what is something this weekend, this day that you can say that maybe has been kicking your butt and it's put you in this trance-like state, or maybe it puts you into this place where you're just kind of existing. Maybe it could have been a financial hardship. Maybe it could have been a relationship, and you're not quite sure what it wants to do, but you wanted to do better. What is the thing you can sit back on and say, if I was to make a shift here, if I was to focus on this here, I know I could kick this thing's butt, or I can get ahead of this, or I can get around this. Sometimes it's not going to be an action step. Sometimes it could just be an epiphany, like, oh my God, I figured it out. Even for myself, I was trying to figure out what was wrong with me years and years ago. And I had these problems, so I thought. And when I sat back and I kind of did this and I kind of put everything together. I'm not looking at things and languishing over it, but I'm looking at things and looking at it with the perspective of how can I shift this into my favor? Then I realized the problems were actually just symptoms. I wasn't excited about things. I wasn't driven by things. I wasn't motivated by things. So of course you're going to procrastinate. But of course you're not going to have strong attention to detail. Of course it's you're going to seem somewhat verbally discombobulated or not being present. And those by themselves look like they were horrible for me, and especially when I took a lot of injury here. But when I sat back and I recognized, like, you know, I'm an intentional purpose person. I'm a very purpose driven person. I know lots of people are, but it really matters to me. My ship needs to have a destination. I don't do well with meandering or browsing. I don't do well with that in life. I need to have a goal. And ever since then, it's just lit me up. I have to have a goal to make myself more purposeful, to make myself more creative. But for yourself, what is that thing for you? What is that thing that's going to give you a sense of more direction? Maybe it could be the way that you love, or maybe the way that you're not loved. Maybe it could be the way that you go about asking for love, or demanding for love, however you want to say it. Maybe it could be that you want more from your job. Maybe it could be you want more from life and you're not quite sure how to ask for the demands. And that could be a language issue. But figure it out what it is this weekend. Look back, take 10 minutes, take 2 hours. But if it can do however long it takes. When I first did this, I locked myself in a room, and truly locked myself in a room, and I just sat there and I made sure I had no distractions. It forced me to focus. Because after you go through a few minutes of like what's wrong with you, you start looking at, well, there is nothing wrong with me. So I hope, but However long it takes, it will make your life even more exciting. It will pull your head right above the water so you can start seeing, like, oh my God, all I need to do is go right here. And in many cases, we're this close away from it. It could be a conversation with someone who just speaks the light into you or the life into you. Or it could be that one time you hold the door for someone and recognize, like, oh my gosh, a life of service. I want to help people. But figure that out. However long it takes, it's worth it. But go out there, find out how to own your happy, find out how to own your purpose or a purpose, find out how to get past what's getting you stuck and move on to, thriving. Life is about living. It's not just about paying bills and stress and worries. I get caught up in that sometimes. I will be honest and own that. But I'm telling you this, once I get back on track, it does happen. I'm human, just like anybody else. I don't act like I don't have issues. I don't act like I don't have some thoughts. But what I will say is this, I don't stay there very long. Keep moving forward, find ways to own your happy. I will see y'all next week. Enjoy the weekend and peace.